Hello, hello, hello.
Morning. I just need to get Kitty over here to be petted because she's now sitting in front of the kitchen and demands petting there, so I need to relocate her and she doesn't move.
You have to meet demands.
Yeah.
Gotta meet them demands, man. So, how's your day been? Well, I guess you
Pardon?
just woke up, didn't you?
Oh, yeah, like half an hour ago, I guess, something like that. An hour? Don't
Yeah,
know.
I'll be on my way to bed here soon.
Yeah, what time is it your place?
Right now, what time it is a 1 a.m. in the morning.
1 a.m. in the morning.
And
But you're
remember,
still
we are originally planning to do this like 3 a.m. my time. So it's like, yeah, imagine how early it is for you.
Yeah, well, she needs her medicine and she comes over at around 5:30. So, yeah.
I got you. You can't help it.
And then I had a fly in my bedroom and I was like, yeah, fuck it. Let's do the video first.
Yeah, right. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Well, are you ready, or do you need to go do that real fast?
I need to grab her over because otherwise she just is going to sit there and meowing all the time because yeah, she
Yeah,
wants her petted, so I
yeah.
need to get her
Demands.
over.
Yeah.
Hold on a bit.
All right.
No sitting in the kitchen drawer again and meowing at me.
Oh, okay. Uh, how's it hanging, dudes and dudettes? Today, for our next podcast guest, we have Drakkart. I would introduce you, but I've done that before, and now I kind of want to do a different approach. And I want you to introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about yourself, because some people may not know you, some people might know you. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying?
So pretty much, yeah, I was born somewhere and no, you want short version, right? Um,
Whatever, we got time. But so it
uh,
all started when your mother fell in love with your father.
pretty much, I think my gaming started at with one of the first computers that were available in the personal market, a old Commodore 64.
Oh yeah, the Commodore. Holy cow.
And then I started programming and pretty much noticed very quickly that you don't get far with just basic. You want to learn machine code, and that pretty much ran me for the next decade or so, doing coding for a while. And my primary driver always work was to create those smooth graphics and stuff like how games were made.
Yeah.
Also, went into kind of some, well, back then they weren't illegal because there were no laws against stuff. So
Mm-hmm.
activities,
Yeah, it was like a Wild West for sure. Yeah.
and
100%. Yeah.
then when you become to a certain age, you need to think about yourself. All right, yeah, well, I probably should stop now because I'm not a minor anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a repercussion that could be had.
And
so, so is that how you got into YouTube?
I got into YouTube because of a lot of frustration. I was watching very big YouTuber. Meanwhile, back then he had like 400k subs,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
he was like doing a 1.5 hour Let's Play thing and got nothing together. And
I remember a name by that. I can't remember. I've been on YouTube a long time, so I come by people. I don't know. Sometimes I forget people.
I remember the name, but I don't want to utter it here just because YouTube is not a good place to, flame people. It's,
Yeah, yeah,
more
yeah.
like, well, you can't change others, you only can change yourself. So,
Yep.
yeah, let's rule most of that stuff under, that's his artist work. But the thing of, being how to say that, like annoyed by an episode of one of your favorite YouTubers because not getting any shit done is like,
It kind of drove you to do
well,
it yourself.
I
Yeah.
I can I can do that, no
Yeah.
problem. I also like I can manage not getting any shit done,
You're
no
like, why am I
problem.
watching this guy do nothing when I could be doing it myself? Right. Okay. Okay.
And then pretty much I made um a statement. I mean, I was sitting behind my monitor, of course, because I had to look at something, so I couldn't see my back then wife, and I was like, I'm starting a YouTube channel. I can't take the shit anymore. And she went like, "Oh, cool! I make a cooking channel." Uh, Now, how do you talk yourself out of this? Like, no way,
Yeah.
right?
Well, I mean, once you're in,
She
you're in.
was
You know.
she was excited right away, and so I was like, "Yeah, all right, yeah, well, let's start. Let's look about where
Well, if
do
there
I get
was
cookware
anybody to give us
from?"
some reason, it's not her. It's like, you know.
So, Minecraft was the game back then.
Oh yeah, man. It's
So,
still popular today. That's crazy.
yeah, I mean,
It's crazy that it's still popular. Well, a lot of different mods they put in now, and different they put like they trend it. You know, they like it's Minecraft, but it's Paw Patrol, or it's Minecraft, but it's Siren Head, or it's Minecraft, but it's whatever the trend is these
I'm
days.
actually not following the thing anymore because for me, Minecraft was over when Microsoft took over. Um, I had a let's how to put that. Maybe some of your viewers don't know. I'm actually playing on a Mac. Now, reason for that is not being that I think the Mac is superior in any way or stuff like that. It's more like back then in I think it was 2001 or 2012. I don't know, like somewhen, yeah. Microsoft went together with Intel and they were like, yeah, let's do this TCPA thing, like enforcing digital rights management on the CPU.
Hmm.
And back then, Apple was like, nope, we do
Yeah.
not think our customers are like all of our customers are how to say that? Potential pirates or no, like pirates in pretext until proven otherwise. So
Oh
I
wow,
went,
yeah, that's rough.
so I went like, yep, yep, totally. I mean, I may not like you, but I like that statement. So here, screw Microsoft, get
Right.
get to another platform. And the thing is, um, I mean, you could also do stuff on Linux, I guess, but I'm still a gamer,
So,
you
but how did
know.
that get you to mine? Or how did Minecraft get you to City Skylines though? Seems like a bit of a leap.
I don't think it's that much of a leap because for me it's like Minecraft was this playground where I could play with redstone.
Ah, so it's just like a sandbox, general type theme games you love, huh?
It's more like when I have something to tinker with and there is a problem to solve,
Yeah,
that game gets me hooked.
yeah,
I mean, there could be different things that get me hooked, and but in general, it's if a game challenges me in some way, and then also there is an audience which needs that stuff. That's basically where I am going to, okay. So not only do I have to figure it out, I also need to figure out how to present it and how to explain it in a way that people actually get it.
yeah. Without
And
without even having to say words, really, just to show it, you know.
um, well, yeah, sometimes showing is enough in a simple game like Minecraft.
Yeah,
For City Skylines,
yeah, yeah,
doesn't work that
yeah.
much
No, 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 no.
because what I figured, like people are often missing the bigger picture. If um you don't fix traffic by fixing junctions. Yes, you could do that. Yes, you could spend a lot of time on this. So, some bigger YouTubers all proven that. But the question is, how long are those alterations going to keep the traffic up? How
Right.
big could a city still grow? Because the more you add, the more traffic problems you will get.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is, there needs to be, or there is a solution to all this, but it's more like into how do I actually structure a city so it can grow and grow and grow and grow without getting into these issues anymore.
And so I guess you just got hooked, huh?
Yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah. Yeah, see, I'm the same way, dude. Like, I just love creative games. Like, I love Planet Coaster, even though I'm blacklisted from Frontier. I still love Planet Coaster. I even like Jurassic World Evolution 2, even though I have a history with that whole franchise. But with mods, that game is pretty okay. And then, like, I love Civilization just because you could build, like, it's not even necessarily like a building game, but you can build an empire. You know what I mean? Like, I just love creative games. I love strategy mixed in with it. It's like there's like this weird niche of games that just really tick all those boxes, and there's certain like people like us, like all of us psychopaths who just want to get every detail right and get every, you know what I mean? Like there's a certain wavelength in brain function that a lot of us share. You know what I mean? And City Skylines ticks like almost every one of them boxes, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely, absolutely, totally agree. Now, you remember eventually that we had this bug recently when the train stations didn't work anymore because the
Yeah.
trucks were looping.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so what I did, I started up Civ 5 again, and I started a what is this? What is the biggest map called again? I don't know. Anyway, I started it in marathon mode. And pretty much every game that allows me to save after each move, you know,
Yeah.
you go there and then you go like for a final move,
Mm-hmm.
which you could actually choose which victory you wanted.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Like-
Yeah. It's
and
like
that
you've
is
got all the capitals. You got a nuke pointing at them. You're ready to do the last piece of your spacecraft. You know, launch in the air. It's like
yeah, yeah, and you
choices.
also get the cultural and
Yeah,
the
yeah.
diplomatic
That's
victory,
that's one thing
like
I can. That's one thing I could talk Civ with you a long time. That's one thing that's one of my favorite game styles. I will. Just whatever kind of map. I'll just sometimes do random maps, you know. But whatever that changes, you know. But what I like to do is I like to do marathon, and I like to do the only my personal thing is the only way you can win is domination. That's it.
okay,
So
okay,
so but the thing is, if nobody goes for domination, that game will run for a very long time. But you're still able to win it if you want to. You know what I mean? You
yeah,
see what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah,
So like
yeah,
so I have 3 games that I've still like I'm dominating, of course, but there's some that I've put on, like I've just stacked the odds against me to give myself like a super challenge. I have to micromanage everything, and they are hyper aggressive. So because I've put everybody, like put like Japan on there. Just put everybody who's like hyper aggressive as the AI, you know. So
The fu the
dude,
funny
I
thing
love it. I
with
love it.
the funny thing with Civ is like when it comes to the point where you go into the diplomatics, like after researching the first scripts and you can, do all the diplomatic stuff. Um Pretty much, sending empires against each other to do the work for you, and then you pretty much just, liberate stuff behind them. That also works. Like
Yeah, yeah,
no problem. You
yeah,
know what I mean?
yeah.
So yes, there is this one point where then pretty much everyone is angry against you, and you need to, um, well, but then you have those naval units, and you are
Dude,
just throwing the XCOM troops and the what is it, the giant robots all over the playing field, and you just go like, yeah, fuck it.
dude,
Oh,
like
sorry,
if you play as
you need to cut that out. You need to cut that out. I didn't say that.
dude, sometimes I feel like the AI, like no matter what you do, they're just gonna be mad at you. But like like if you play as Zimbabwe for example, you're always gonna spawn next to a jungle, and if you get like sometimes it's luck, but
You
almost
can deactivate it.
but almost all the time you get jungle, and that might seem like a bad thing, but inside jungle is almost always luxury resources. And if you go straight commerce and you set up all your districts commerce and you just keep going hard like that way, dude, you will like win a commerce victory like before the Renaissance era. It's just stupid. It's stupid. Of course, you're very weak, and if you get at war with somebody, they're gonna roll over you because you're putting everything into commerce. You know what I mean? You're just stacking up gold. You're starving your citizens. You're not doing anything. You're just taking all the money. You're setting up just trade routes. You know what I mean? You're only taking deals that benefit you. Like, yeah. So, and every resource you get, you export. Everybody's unhappy. You're having revolts rise, but as long as you can maintain a certain flow up until a point, you'll just win off commerce. You'll just get so far ahead so fast based off wealth, a little bit of science. It's amazing. Of course, there's no industry and there's no military. You completely forgo all that to focus just on to get your science where you need it to be, so your commerce can be where it needs to be. But
the thing is, with money you can't buy
happiness.
No, not how are those called? The world wonders kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I like, when I play,
Chop down the forest, man.
I don't leave them out. Like, I got them all.
What?
Yeah, all.
What?
I mean, yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I mean, you can't get all because you have to decide at some point, like, which philosophy or thing you are going for, or which theoretical thing you're going for.
Philosophies, bro.
That's like
stay
one
off
or
the
two.
mod screen, then stay off of Steam Workshop. You want to talk about philosophies, dude? They literally have the most evilest fascist government to ever exist on there, and you can play as them. All you gotta do is click it, and then they even have Stalin. They have they have. You can play as Pol Pot. Come on, man.
I didn't mean to that kind of like
I know, like, your personal philosophy, but it just, when you said that word, it made me think about the Steam page. I just started shaking my head like, oh, philosophies. Holy cow. There is some crazy mods out there, that's for sure.
That's the thing also, like, normally I don't play modded games because I want to beat the game on its turf.
Yeah.
And mods often, like, yeah, how to say that? Like, it's more like cheating kind of thing, and
oh yeah, 100%.
And the thing is,
I spawn in with an extra worker who never dies. Sometimes, if I want it, I have the ability,
The thing is, if you make the game easier, where is the satisfaction in winning then?
Oh yeah. Well, the thing is, you don't want to make it so easy that it's not a challenge. You want to do certain, like, for example, if you play on the hardest difficulty, you really have to be a veteran of that game to play, and it's doable. I mean, I've done it, but it's a lot better to have smarter AI, but you're just a little under even match, instead of just starting all the way behind and you have to narrow your way through the tech tree just to get to a victory. You know what I mean? Like, it's so, like, it's like you get to have that intense fighting on a grander scale. Like, for example, like, I'll do the most, was it like Emperor or something like that, the most extreme difficulty, and it's super hard, but if I add a couple mods, then I'll get a worker who never dies, which is invaluable, and an extra warrior to start with is the only benefits I get. Like, that's the only thing I give myself. But that worker who never dies, and as long as he doesn't get captured, you know what I mean? And I have to make a new one. As long as they don't get captured, it's not a big deal at all. That's an invaluable resource. But it's able to keep me instead of being a mile behind the AI and you have to snake your way through the tech tree, it keeps you kind of on their heels a little bit. You can kind of fend off attacks, whereas like an Emperor, you gotta play your like the highest difficulty. I can't remember what it is, but you gotta play your cards right. You gotta make sure all your trades are appropriate. You gotta make sure you have the exact right alliances. You gotta make sure that the you don't miss a beat on every single selection you do, every single tile you unlock or whatever. Make sure your money's spent right. Make sure your tech is going in the right direction. Make sure you don't spend any of your science points on tech. Make sure, it's just, and it's so hard because everybody else is expanding so fast because they start with like 3 settlers and 4 workers and and all this stuff. Like the AI starts with that so far ahead of you, and I just give myself one worker who can't die and just has unlimited uses. You know what I mean? That's it. But it's hard. It's still hard.
I have to say I don't want to play an uphill battle. Like if the AI is cheating, that's not what I enjoy. Like if we are not playing on even ground, uh-uh. So I mean, yeah, I pick Prince, but what do you mean like your worker never dies? My workers don't die.
Well, you mean like they run out of uses? You know what I mean? Like your worker has 3, like it can repair tiles 3 times, like it was something like that. You can like it can create 3 farms and then he goes away.
Ah, you're playing on a different setting than I do.
I don't
Because
know.
my workers just keep working. Like
You have a mod
it's
then.
it no, it's a base game. It's just some settings you said.
Hold on a second.
So
Okay. You go ahead. Talk about it.
I turn on the raging barbarians because otherwise you can't get all the world wonders because you need to keep the AI in check, and since you don't have that power from the early start, yeah, make the barbarians rage, right? So
Right.
they
Right.
spawn like crazy. And then you go like, okay, and I also don't want them to get any benefits like random stuff. So you also have to deactivate all the how they're called, like the things you find on the map, and then you probably get an upgrade or you get whatever it is, right? So deactivate those, and then just like, okay, you also have to fight the barbarian hordes, but they give you basically the thing of at some times an AI probably would create a world wonder, but because of how the fights went, it needs to switch to a unit, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it cancels its world wonder for to produce a unit to stay alive. And yeah, this is pretty much, see, you don't have the map at the beginning. You can't influence the other AI, so you need anyway. Let's
I looked up on my workshop and I have a mod that I have subscribed to called Unlimited Builder. It says that builders start with charges, and this mod allows you to have unlimited charges, no more useless tiles. So I don't know. That's just a mod that I have, and
I,
Merker doesn't die. that's and
I
before then
create a
it had 3 charges. You know what I mean?
when I create a worker, it stays there pretty much until the end of the game doing stuff. Like I'm unsure what you're
What?
like we're talking Civ 5? Yeah, I mean it's a unit. It gets replenished with a new generation whenever,
You have to make a new unit.
N- No, like it's the same unit. You just move it and give it, anyway.
I don't know. Seems like a bunch of
Let's
different
talk
things.
City Skylines
Yeah.
because
Let's do that.
otherwise we
Let's do that. Let's do that. Okay, no, I did have one more question before we get into all that. What does your name
Sure.
Drakkart mean? What's the story behind that? Why'd you choose that name?
That's evolved over time. Um, like when I, yeah. So there was an old cartoon series with gargoyles in them.
Mm-hmm.
And my friends like back then it was, and then you meet with friends and stuff, and then I was a night owl most of the time, and pretty much, when studies came up or stuff like that, I was like, yeah, learning in the middle of the night. So then I got another nickname, and then nicknames kept changing until at some point I ended up there. I actually like it's lots of steps in between, but it's more also like mispronunciation of the original because yeah, the thing is I am or used to be very outgoing, meeting new people all the time. And the nickname I had, yeah, newer people don't catch that instantly, but whenever there was a mistake, pretty much, oh yeah, that sounds even more funnier, so let's use that.
Right, right.
And then things evolved from there.
Kind of stuck,
And
huh?
and then when I tried to create my YouTube channel, I went like, okay, so how would I want it to pronounced? And techno music in general,
Yeah.
at some point, not written with a th and more like a k, and then suddenly
I
two,
gotcha.
three, four Ks, because Gabber was a big thing back then.
Okay.
Uh, and so pretty much that's
So it's kind of a thing of its
that
own now, huh?
that was the kind of idea to go with 2K in the name. So yeah,
Yeah.
you see, yeah,
Yeah, for sure.
and
For
pretty
sure.
much uh, in general, when you're a gamer, you have quite an arsenal of aliases you go for. But when creating a YouTube channel, um, Big Roxo 137 doesn't work. Like you,
Yeah, yeah. You gotta have a brand for sure.
yeah. So what is timeless? I wanted something that's timeless, that's not associated with anything and because of that, can make a name of itself,
Right. Yeah, it can be a brand of
right?
its own besides City Skylines if it needs to be.
Exactly,
Right, right,
because
right.
like where would the YouTube channel go? How would I know? Like it was uh 2012, and okay, I do not know what I'm going to play in 20 years.
Right.
Like
Or who says this channel doesn't blow up and now you have a secondary channel where you do live streams and a third channel where you there's a new game you love now and you have three different channels and who's to say that you're not that having them all on the same channel? It just gives you so much variability.
right,
Yeah, I feel
right.
you. I
But
changed the cover photo we have here in Discord or my profile picture. I've changed it on YouTube now because it was so hard to read my name on that little profile picture. So I changed it. I abbreviated my name SMB. Yeah, yeah. I had to. I had to. I had to. Just a quick little. I mean, because if just in case the channel grows too fast too quickly, I don't want to be stuck with something that's hard to see for a bigger audience. I want something that's easily recognizable and might as well make that change early instead of having to do it late and then half the people don't recognize who I am. you know. So
good
yeah,
thought, good thought. So yeah, same for logos, right?
yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah.
what do you pick? You know? Um, and Drakkart is like the smiling face. Yeah, that's how you do it. There you go.
Yeah, it's a great design. I love it. I love it. It's a great design. It really is. So what is your favorite? What's your favorite things or thing or things? You can be multiple. It can be one thing about City Skylines 2 so far from what you've seen.
We had this question like the audience needs to know we had a little talk before we arranged this
Mm-hmm.
podcast,
Yeah, yeah.
and I want to give them also the all like I would have to need to act, but back then when you asked me that question at first, or you hinted like that could be one of the questions,
Oh
I
yeah.
was like,
I've
dang,
asked everybody that question so far. So yeah.
dang, that is a good question. I really need to think about it. Now the thing is, now we're doing the podcast, and then I had time to think about it.
Yeah, that's the reason why. That's the reason why I gave you that tip ahead of time.
So I was really thinking because like right now, City Skylines 2 could be a bad game. It
Huh.
could be.
I
It
mean,
doesn't
there's a
you
possibility,
I mean whatever we see,
but there's always a
I
possibility.
whatever we see I'm getting really excited about because the mechanics they are trying to establish, yeah, that's how I want a city builder to be. That's like what I wanted for City Skylines all the time. Like that's awesome,
But they're
right?
releasing so much information so fast. I'm afraid like they're gonna blow their whole load on these dev diaries and show us everything, and then we get into the game, that's literally everything, and there was nothing
Now what I'm more worried about is like where's the traffic?
Well, I mean, there's a in the last few we've seen some traffic, and they've even had people on the motorcycles. But
Yeah,
also,
yeah. I mean,
they also have
the,
like some of these cities. If you over the course of of time, if you've analyzed a lot of these, like if you frame by framed a lot of these videos, you'll see a lot of the stats. And some of these cities are like people are leaving the cities. All the stats are in the drain. They're not making much money. People are leaving in droves, and I think that might have an effect on the traffic. I think there just might not be that many people. And also, a long time ago when we first got New Dollarton, and everybody was like, "Oh, New Dollarton is $2.20." All that whole hubbub, right? It was literally a town or a city full of elderly people. Like there was so many elderly people, and people were moving out, like actively moving out. And people were like, then too, it was like, where's the traffic? I was like, yeah, everybody's in the old folks' home. There is no traffic.
okay, I actually didn't get it. No, just
But I
wanted
don't
to
know if
point
that's the
out is
case. I mean, there could just be an issue too. I don't know. I really don't know.
you keep cutting me off.
I'm sorry.
No, the thing is, I wanted to point out is like all these graphical things, like no rider on the motor, but yeah, that's going to be fixed, no problem. But like when I look at those streets, they are empty. Like, where's the traffic? That's a 70K population city, and where is the traffic? So I was thinking, like, the thing that I appreciate the most is that they are switching time to a different model. We are now getting a fully, like, we are now going through the day entirely. And each day, we are going to play from sunrise to sunset. So a year may just have 12, 24, 36 days, right? We don't know yet, but because in some way they have to compress an entire year in a playable time frame. Otherwise, people would not get the feeling of progression. So we have to compress them. And then if you saw on those leaked screenshots, you get the time, the date is missing, the month, and the year. This missing date is the indicator that we are going to play through 24 hours of a day. Probably not in real time, probably like shrinked to about, let me make a guess, 6 hours. Like 6 real-time hours are one in-game hour day. But this in-game hour day then stands for, I don't know, like 3 days in a 365 year thing, or even more. We don't know. Maybe we just play 4 days for an entire month, something like that. So, because of this missing date, I was really early catching on. Wait a second. That is a strong indicator for something I wanted all the time. You know the real-time mod?
Uh, yeah.
Ever played with that? So that was very popular before Campus came out. Why was it so popular? Because it readjusted the how you would actually play the game for normally you play and the game time runs down there, like one day passes after the other. So man comes back from work and wife goes like, "Where have you been all week?" "Yeah, I was driving 2 days to work and I was driving home 2 days for another 2 days. I was driving home from work for another 2 days." And you go like, "Yeah, this time thing doesn't make sense." So then Campus came out, and Campus was linked to 40 weeks are one academic year. And then it was like, okay, um, now with this other time from the real-time mod, such an academic year, if you really calculate it up, the time measurements don't work up anymore, so those academic years could not finish. So pretty much this mod deactivated an entire DLC. You could decide either you want to play with real time or you could decide to play with campus.
Hmm.
Get where I'm coming from here. So now in City Skylines 2, that's probably the feature I'm most excited about. That we are going to play through an entire day. So we are seeing on the screen when the sun comes up, yeah, it will be morning. When the sun goes down, it will be evening. So we will have real nightlife. Also, they were hinting about citizens visiting each other. So no more optimization of the entire traffic system. Yeah, we have residential here, then commercial there, and industry there. So we draw, the metro lines from there to there to there. Done. Because those metro lines are going to cover all their needs. Because in City Skylines 1, citizens don't visit each other. All they do is they go to work and they go shopping. And then they go sleep. Done. Right? And now, with a way more complex thing to do through a day, yeah, that gets fascinating, man. Like, come
Okay.
on, imagine. Like, they hinted that families are going to go on vacation in groups, like whether or through an external connection or through the airport or through ships or whatever, right? They also hinted like citizens visiting each other. Wow. Like, come on, that's great stuff. That's the real stuff. And then I see this game, no traffic in there, and then I go like, huh, did they eventually get the timing wrong? Like, are there too many hours in an in-game day? And that's because there is no traffic because people have no incentive to drive somewhere else. Or is there eventually the density not matched? So there are too few people in the city, and that's why, because there is no traffic, even though the city looks pretty big. Know what I mean?
Yes, I do. Okay. All right. Didn't want to cut you off.
S- Yeah,
No,
sorry.
you're fine. You're
It
fine.
was just
You was making a
I,
good point. You was making a really good point. But I don't. It's just it's so hard to it's just so hard to tell what like that's probably the case. There's probably some sort of real 24-hour time, and that might be affecting the traffic, and it could have been what I said earlier, or it could be neither one of them. Like it's so hard to tell unless you're in the game yourself, and it could be the fact that it's just a beta build, and like kind of like you said that like this doesn't match the density. Like maybe they're trying to make it seem like there's not cars going to clog up the road, so you know one truck would have been four trucks, but we've reduced the density. You know what I mean? Everything's kind of so I don't know,
so
man. You
so
know,
if they are building an absolute casual game and the only limit is your machine, I mean, where's the point then? Okay?
yeah,
Like, um, if a game's not challenging in some way, I mean, of course, in some way it will be modded, so you can adjust the challenges, and I love this part of City Skylines because you can mod all the dumb stuff out and mod other stuff in that not actually
yeah,
raises the challenge, but in a way like all these um how do I call them? Like should be in the base game mods, right?
yeah.
You just get them and then okay, so this is how you really draw roads. This is how you
Right.
because you need to overcome, all the limitations. And I'm totally cool with those limitations because from the history of how Colossal Order progressed and like the entire history with, SimCity failing and then, Paradox stepped in and said, "Yeah, you had this demo. Let's make this a real game." I totally get where they're coming from. Like all it had to be rushed out,
Yeah,
but it was working, and that's a cool thing. And now with all the modding now, we have pretty much so many options of mods that you could turn the game into something entirely different, like a canvas for painting cities, right?
yeah,
um, you know, I mean, you can totally ignore all the rules if you want to, right?
yeah,
But where's the challenge in that? I mean, the
yeah.
challenge is it's a challenge in itself to create something aesthetic and good looking. Okay, I get that, but personally, I'm more like I want to play the game, right?
Oh yeah,
And
yeah, for sure. Well, I mean, I can see both sides. Like, I definitely, because I'm a challenge person too, and I like that aspect. And you know, a lot of times, challenging yourself in like the one tile, you know, like people do the one tile city challenge or various challenges, and that's challenging. That's what people who like to challenge outside of what's the game already gives you. You know what I mean?
right,
And then there's people who just love to have highly modded, highly built. They just want to like, you know, like just recreate painstakingly something that they want exactly the way they want it. And then there's some people who's kind of in the middle, and I'm the person who's kind of in the middle. Like I like a lot of my time when I'm building in city skylines, a lot of times they will be I won't have unlock all on, but I will have, you know, some mods to make my stuff look beautiful and make easy stuff, you know, and like kind of like you said, just some basic stuff, like, you know, maybe the road tool, whatever, you know, but or maybe some assets I like, but I like the challenge. I like to unlock things. I like to grow the city. But then there's some times where I just really like I'll have separate builds, and sometimes I'll get in a mood where I just want to do highly detailed builds, but I don't want to do it in my kind of vanilla kind of modded build, because then that one area is going to look so much better than the rest. You know what I mean? It's going to look obvious. You know.
absolutely,
So
absolutely.
yeah. So I
And,
definitely understand. You know, I get the whole
and
thing.
and that's also the beauty about City Skylines, that you can actually play it in so many different ways, and the community is so um, has such a high variety of people in there.
Yeah.
So, for example, if I even though I don't play this way, I can totally enjoy, for example, a video from Etis.
Mm-hmm.
You know that guy with
Yep.
his steampunk stuff,
Oh yeah.
and oh man,
Yeah. I
like
think I featured him on my
that
channel
is
a while back.
that is cinematics, and I go like, all right, yeah, give me a tea, and then sit down and go like, awesome.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, my
It's
machine
like it
couldn't
don't even
do it.
resemble. It doesn't. Yeah, no, no shit, man. Like it doesn't even resemble City Skylines. You know, it's like what, who, how, you know, like who? You're a madman. Like, you know what I mean? I know some City Skylines psychopaths, but that dude is he. Man, he is on a massacre. He is killing it. It's crazy. Like, imagine how long it takes. Imagine.
It's funny. I talked to him one time, or like not, uh, I actually don't remember, but anyway, he was telling me like, yeah, well, there is no traffic because the actual city just has 26,000 inhabitants,
Yeah.
and this thing is freaking massive, you know.
Yeah, the rest is just for looks, man. It's lipstick on a pig. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Actually, I love also that you actually answered one of my other questions. Like, what was one of the biggest flaws you, and or once you wanted it was that, and it was you was curious about the traffic. You, so you actually already answered that question too. This without me even having to ask it. I love that. Uh,
I mean, that is the question because you see this big city and there is hardly any traffic, and go like, okay, where is everybody? Like not even walking on this. No, there
yeah,
is no like no agents on there. And then yeah, okay, yeah, it's just 20,000 people actually, and you
yeah,
go like, oh man.
yeah,
Anyway,
yeah.
where were we?
What actually I was going to ask you, what is your plans for your channel? Is there anything like behind the scenes you got for us? Like what's going on with Drakkart in the moment on your channel? You got plans for City Skylines 2 content, or you're gonna what are you doing? What's going on with you?
Okay, so right now I am preparing a video nobody else has done, so I have pretty much the obligation to do it. Um, Pretty much pointing out. Um, Actually, I'm not sure if I should. Anyway,
Yeah, yeah, do go on.
no, pretty much. If City Skylines 2 is going to pose a challenge at some point, and as said, we do not know yet. It could be entirely, an entire casual game, and then people would go like, man, that's boring. Yeah, I have this huge city, but nothing happens, whatever, right? Um, but if the game poses a challenge at some point, then what are actually the key takeaways which we should transition over as best practice for several things, like, management style. Because some things are not even specific to any game. They
Yeah.
are just concepts and rule sets. I wouldn't say rule set, more like guidelines.
Right. Right.
Like how to do stuff better. And like with the traffic AI being, or the dev diary about the traffic AI coming out,
Yeah.
I was like, okay, so the easiest way to fix things is to add more lanes. Because the traffic AI, clever as it is, will just take then the more lanes and then route around it. And then I was thinking like, okay, are they going to charge more for more lanes? And are those costs going to be adequate to represent a challenge? And then I was thinking like, knowing Colossal Order, probably not. So, so adding more lanes in like at first thought could pretty much solve all your issues in with a city of any size. But then I was thinking, the actual limit is the CPU or the processing power you have.
Yeah. Yeah.
The more lanes you add, the more options you are giving the AI to reconsider their route. Whereas, if we stick to some of the rules of the original game, the AI might enter the state of re-evaluating route, um, stop re-evaluating because there's just this one lane going, there's no other way.
Yeah.
Know
Well,
what I mean?
that's kind of I mean, you're making a video.
Yeah,
Yeah. When?
it,
When?
it it is. Yeah, it's in production. Like I don't know, like probably another week or two,
A
maybe.
week or
Because
two. Listen,
because
guys, y'all
I
gotta get on. Y'all gotta get on him. Y'all gotta get on him.
the thing is, it's in production, but through all the releases there so many points came up, and then I'm constantly thinking about this stuff. I don't know. You read my about thing?
I
Probably.
don't think probably not. I probably didn't know.
Okay, so probably autistic. Whenever I'm alone, I'm pretty much thinking about whatever comes to my mind. So, um,
As most of
and
us do.
t
Yeah.
yeah, and I'm like a sponge with all this City Skylines 2 information.
Yeah. Yeah.
And thinking about this video and then the new stuff that came out, it pretty much always adds something more. So the script changes constantly.
Mm.
And but well, I got my main points together and I'm going to put them all in there. And then I just also noticed we have a problem with City Skylines because um when you're following discussions, for example, on Reddit or something, people are kind of religiously repeating stuff which does not apply to the given situation.
Like what?
Like, for example, I recently had this thing with when this truck thing was with the stations, and pretty much it was bugged through all platforms, right?
Yeah.
So whatever you do, yeah, train stations, they just don't work because the trucks are entering,
Broken. Yeah.
getting sent out, whatever, and they can't reach back
Yeah.
to their
Yeah.
home. So that's the thing. You post this, and then you get comments like, "Yeah, well, you're playing modded, so what do you expect? You change the game."
Yeah. Yeah.
That doesn't even relate, dude, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Or
They're
stuff
puritists. They're Puritans.
like now it's more like I'm wondering like, huh, how come? I mean, it all points down to the Dunning-Kruger effect in some way, right? But how come people are not, you know, able to distinguish like how do these people find the solutions to their problems in City Skylines? If they do not understand what
they
actually
they
applies to their
it's not
problem.
about what's see, you're missing the thing with Reddit. It's not about that they really care about what you should or shouldn't do in the game. It's they know what that particular culture of that Reddit, of that City Skylines Reddit is, and it's always mods are the problem. People who overmod their game and then complain about it, they're the problem. But a lot of times they'll have mods and stuff themselves. You know what I mean? Everybody uses everybody. If you're on a PC and you're not, if you haven't visited the Steam page once or twice, then what are you really doing? You know what I mean? Like people,
Like for real. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So a lot of those people too, and Reddit has a lot of PC users. Not a lot of them are mobile. Most of them are PC users.
Yeah, but
Yeah, so that's what it is. They want the karma points. They want the pats on the back. They want the camaraderie from everybody. Like, yeah, this is how we all think here, and you're the problem. Instead of actually like, well, wasn't even talking about that. You know what I mean? It's like, what do you? You're creating a separate argument because that's how you feel about just my play style, because that's what gives you the pats on the back from your fellow redditors here. Like they don't, I mean, Reddit is it's, and then on Steam page, it's like there's so many people complain. Well, there's been so few, and there's actually been people apologize on the Steam page and say stuff like I used to troll this game, I don't know why everybody's giving it such a hard time, or I used to not like this game and now they've reached the new dev diary and now I'm in love, blah blah blah. There used to be a lot of hate on there, and now it's less. And it's kind of like a similar thing. They're like, oh well, it's too expensive. What do you mean? Like, most AAA games are $60, not 50. They're normally 60 or above, and then if you get the special bundle or the ultimate edition or whatever, it's gonna be like 120, sometimes 150 if you're getting a game like Skyrim or Fallout or something like that. Sometimes more than that depending on the, so it's like not $89. I'm not sure what it is in euros or whatever, but $89, and $50 is not a lot, and people complain about just to complain. You know what I mean? And then they'll be like, "Oh, look, there's nobody on a motorcycle," and then the very next dev diary they have somebody on the motorcycle, and there's crickets from that same person. Not like, you know what I mean? So like, it's the same. It's the same like that on Reddit, but it's inverse. They're Puritans, man. They're Puritans.
yeah, I know that this is also part of the culture, and I get it. But when it comes to um, you know, there's still value. Information has value, right?
Yeah,
So if uh, I'm just thinking like, yeah, of course you can stay in this purist mindset, but that would more like be trolling to the given situation.
oh
How
for
how
sure. Yeah,
come how come you don't realize that moment for this situation because this update of the game just broke it? You don't realize you're just now trolling. So anyway, I
yeah.
mean,
They
I'm
don't
I'm
care.
I'm in very good faith. He meant well, and because this overmodding and then not getting your game together is a problem in the community. So this in general would probably be a good response. So I get that, but it doesn't make sense to apply that to every guy who plays modded. It just doesn't work this
That's what
way.
I'm
You
saying.
know
It
what
just
I
feels
mean?
like a biased comment to me. But
Yeah.
it does. It seems like coming from a place of like this is what I think all problems are, type of thing. That would be his fix to everything, is what it seems like, type of thing.
So, what
Um,
I really wanted to point out, we have this kind of dogmatic community, which, for example, still goes like grids are bad.
yeah,
No, grids were bad back then when City Skylines was in a totally different state development-wise.
right.
Now we have tools to make them work. Even in vanilla, we have all the, yields or make a
Yeah,
priority
giveaway
streets,
signs. Yeah,
all that stuff. Why should grids now be bad? But you hear it till today, right? And and that is kind of, I hope we are not going to run into the same like cult
yeah.
like that's how it has to be things in City Skylines too, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
and for that, I actually want people to actually play the game more than trying to discuss
Yeah, or try telling
stuff.
everybody else how to play the game. Yeah,
You
well,
know,
and it's changed over time too, because it used to be like if you wasn't having these highly detailed, voiced over time lapsed videos and like everything is meticulously placed. If you didn't have videos like that, they wasn't doing very well. Like if you just did tutorials or vanilla builds, right? But nowadays, like everybody's doing beginner cities vanilla builds. Everybody, and it's just so weird how over the course of the years the trend in City Skylines has changed. You know what I mean? That's kind of wild because it used to be like highly like what was the guy's name you mentioned earlier?
Edis.
It used to be like that. I mean, he's on steroids, but similar to that. You know what I mean?
I
So
mean, yeah, I mean, this entire culture of like when you had a look on City Skylines YouTube for, let's say, 2 years ago, kind
mhm.
of, pretty much. I mean, you could name all the big ones like Sanctum Gamer, like all these great highly modded graphical upbeat to the max, with
Yeah, using
how
supercomputers.
sun rays and all that stuff, go
Yeah.
in there and you go like, yeah, okay, that's cool, but yeah, how do I actually play the game?
Or you
And
imagine? Or go ahead. Sorry.
no, no,
So like,
you keep
if
you
you
keep your sword, you keep your sword.
okay.
And so I was like, you know, yeah, that's cool. I like watching that, but I actually want to play the game.
Yeah.
So, you know, I mean, yeah, making it look nice, one thing, yeah, but let's focus on how can we beat the game on its own turf, like
Yeah.
how to do that. And yeah, that's more like what I'm interested in. And anyway, your sword.
So what I was gonna say was imagine being like that was your first experience was somebody's build like that, and you're a person who's never played Cities Skylines before, and you see that video and you're like, wow, what is this game? And you're like, wow, that looks really good, and then you get the game and it's nothing
And
like that.
and then yeah. Like imagine the disappointment. Imagine the
They
disappointment.
walk in a
What?
GameStop and get an Xbox copy. Oh man,
Yeah, I totally get where you're coming from.
that would be
Yeah, and
horrible.
now and also I think like Colossal Order sold like what did they say in the before the announcement trailer, like when they announced that one? There was this talk the CEO had with the guy from Paradox, right? And they were like describing like in 1 year they got like the population of, I don't know, was it a city or country, like City Skylines just gained within 1 year.
Yeah,
And I was like whoa, yeah, blown away,
yeah,
like
yeah.
an entire
Isn't that
I can't
crazy?
remember. Anyway, that is crazy. So um the game is attracting so many people because of how many playstyles there are available. But I really think like if the people do not just want to waste their money, someone has to actually show how to do stuff.
Yeah,
So yeah, that's like there will always be this niche for me. Like whatever game I pick, as soon as it is challenging, as soon as I can put my thoughts in there and could figure things out, I could always, provide video material. And yeah, pretty much I'm doing this with a city that now yeah, came to the limit of my hardware. So yeah, that's
yeah.
the
I know.
thing.
I'm excited. I'm excited. I'll watch that for sure. Oh, okay. So before we hop off, I do have one more question.
Tell me about how you got into City Skylines.
Oh, you hit me back with a question. Okay. So, oh man, it is a hard question, isn't it?
I mean,
So,
you told in
so
Gonban B's podcast, sorry if I reference this, you told him like you were looking for what to make a YouTube channel about, and then you go through your Steam list, and then you found City Skylines, had the most hours. So yeah, I'm going for City Skylines. City Skylines 2 was announced, so that's the way you're heading. That's the way your channel is heading. But what got you into City Skylines?
Oh, what got me into Skate Skylines? Okay, well, first off, I've always liked just building games. Always loved just building in general. Like, I started out when I was a young kid. Me and my cousin used to play The Sims 2 on PlayStation, and we would never like play the story mode or anything. We would just go to an empty lot and we would build random houses, and we would try to fit. There used to be like a little fire meter, and we would always max out the fire meter, but we'd try to have separate houses on the same lot and have furniture in there, and we both have separate families and everything, and and then it got to we would like build mazes inside this little bitty thing, and we would just like push the game to its absolute limits on console. And building games came natural to me. I've played Civilization 3 when I was a young kid on PC. I mean, I also like RPGs. I played Morrowind and Skyrim and Fallout and all that, and I love all that kind of stuff too. I even play a little Call of Duty, but those tick a different box than what building games do for me. Like when I was a young kid, I used to play with a lot of Legos. You know what I mean? I used to build big cities with Legos.
I
And
just want to say the cool thing about building games is it's like playing with Legos.
yeah,
Just you don't have to buy new
yeah,
packages.
exactly. You just gotta get DLCs. But yeah, so like that's where it initially came from. But to your original question of what was I most like what am I all about with City Skylines 2 right now, dude? Did you not see the garbage?
Yeah.
Like if everything is overhauled even to half of that amount, like if
So yeah,
that's insane, dude. Like the fact that the water treatment will produce solid waste that has to be transferred to your landfill.
yeah,
Oh,
and now we
come
can't
on.
place water towers everywhere. We can just place them around these
Where they're supposed to
ground
go, where the groundwater.
reservoirs.
Yeah, yeah,
So, like in general, the the thing to detail, like this blows me away like every time because whatever they do about City Skylines 2, it's like they really put thought in there. They really like what we are lacking in City Skylines 1 because Paradox said, okay, SimCity failed. Colossal Order, come on, let's fill that niche. Let's go. Like you got,
yeah,
I don't know, like a year and a half or something like that. Whatever, right?
yeah, yeah,
Let's just do something that works.
yeah.
Now we are on the exact opposite. Now we go like, okay, like how do we actually determine which route any agent takes? Like, how do you come up with 4 parameters for that? Like, how do like this new zoning or in general district tool? Like when I saw that for the first time with the farm in one of those things, I went like, yes, awesome. Or how do
Yeah,
we and then also like there's all those traffic thingies in the game already.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
okay, the most prominent. I'm still gonna miss the gondola, not gondola, the ah the ski
What was
lift
it? Yeah, yeah,
thingy.
the lift.
Yeah,
Yeah, I know what you're talking
yeah.
about. Yeah. What was it called?
Uh,
It is a gondola though, right?
yeah, it is. It's like
We'll just call it a gondola. That's what it is.
whatever.
Yeah,
I'm still gonna miss those, and
everything escaped us
also
both.
the occasional blimp is a really nice sight in the sky. You know what I mean?
Oh, I'm sure all
Because
that'll come though.
we have them here, like in the city where I live. There's blimps, like some some days, and whenever you see one, you go like, oh, so cute. Anyway, like all the sort they put in there. So we have trams, we have metro, we have buses, we have trains, and also trains for cargo, and yeah, taxis. Okay. So those five, those are the essential ones. In City Skylines 1, those were spread out about three DLCs.
Yeah, yeah. It took a while.
So now we can start with all the good stuff right away. And we also do not have just streets, we also have passenger streets. Huh. So okay, yeah, they took that into account. By the way, without a shitty magical transportation mechanic, okay? So good thing here.
Right.
Um, so yeah, sorry. I mean, I like how Plazas and Promenades looks, but the mechanics, seriously, you have to
Yeah.
place a building to then pretty much spawn invisible trucks. Come on, like
Yeah, yeah.
that's not
And
a
at that point, some of the buildings you get in some of those DLCs, you can get just as good as assets off of the Steam Workshop and avoid even buying the DLC. You know, that's kind of the double-edged
yeah, yeah,
sword
yeah.
for Colossal there. You know, it's like yeah, that's cool to have those green cities, but somebody can just make a asset that looks exactly like that and doesn't require the DLC, and I can just put that in my city and I'm good to go. And then I can just bob it, make it look different, and I'm fine. You know what I mean? Like, I don't need to necessarily have your Green Cities DLC. Like, I don't necessarily need to have it. You know, like,
E-
you know, mods kind of do that.
On the other hand, when you're looking at like what price that DLC, for example, went for, what you get in return, I'd still rate it as a top tier DLC
Oh,
just because
for sure. I mean, it was probably
you
a bad
get
example, but yeah, you know what I mean.
yeah, sure, you get the incinerator, you get the sewage treatment, like
Hmm.
clean sewage, like there's pretty much nothing left. That's awesome, right? Done, right?
Right.
Best Buy, so done. Uh, I mean, in general, they did a really good stuff with the DLCs, right? Um, but now seeing City Skylines 2 coming up with all the good stuff already in the base game. Whoa, you guys really made up your swords, man. And I'm just wondering, okay, so what is going to be in the DLCs then? I mean, we don't have biking in the base game yet. Little bummer, I guess.
Yeah.
But at some point it will hopefully be released, right? Because I'm living in Europe, you live in the USA, but in Europe without a bike, I mean, depending on where you live, right? If you're living in the mountains, you probably don't want to go biking that much. But like,
Well, they just should have had like a different starting theme to give us than the EU theme, because like bikes are big in EU. If you're not going to have things that was supposed to be like you would see on an average street in anywhere in the EU, well then it kind of defeats the purpose. They should have went with, you know, like a Spanish theme or something to give us to start with or something. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Just because it makes no sense to do that. You need to, you know what I mean? Like why would you do that? It makes absolutely no sense. And when you really boil it down, I think that the bicycles aren't going to come at launch, because like they could have probably added bicycles in by themselves, but if they keep it out, because it might not be ready for whatever reason, but let's just say they keep it out and it is ready, but they want to bundle that with something that's so much more and might go with bicycles. Like, for example, maybe you'll get a dirt track, entertainment arena or
downhill
something like that.
BMX
Yeah,
racing,
yeah,
right?
exactly. So they might instead of just having bicycles in the base game, they might like, look, you had to wait for bicycles, but look at all this you're getting. Bike parks, you're getting bike nature trails, you're getting, now you have mopeds and Vespas. You know what I mean? Now you like, and so there's a really probably a really good reason for them to hold it back. But if you look at everything that they're giving us and you take it all pound for pound, when we do get bikes, it's gonna knock us on our feet, man. Like, imagine what they're going, unless they just sleeper add, day one patch bikes, which I don't think they will. You know what I mean? They're gonna make some money off of it. It's just a colossal order. But I don't know. I can't blame them. But so my last question for you is, and I
Whoa,
and I ask everybody this, okay?
are we here already? All right, yeah, yeah, sure,
Well,
sure.
hey, you gotta realize it's 2 a.m. for me. it's
So when
a
did we start? 1 a.m. So that's just an hour.
Yep, just
Oh,
about an
okay, all
hour.
right, yeah,
That's normally about
yeah.
how much they run, but we're not done yet. So calm your jets. We're not done yet. No, but I do. I ask everybody this, or a version of this. Is there anything, like, if you've ever seen any of my content? Is there anything that you think I can do better, like in any way, shape, or form? I'm always looking to improve, and I'm open for like to any criticism. Unless you insult my mother, and then we have a problem. But
Um, okay, so yeah, I stumbled upon, like, when I first saw your channel, I was like, oh yeah, that's clever. Like, let's start a new channel with just City Skylines content, so the YouTube algorithm would instantly know what this channel is about.
Right.
Good point. And but I didn't check in too much because I mean already was informed about, or I keep myself informed about, the new features
Yeah, yeah,
coming.
yeah.
So I was like, yeah, I mean, what can this person probably tell me? Um, my key takeaway from your channel is I should, and I'm getting blamed for this. Like, well, from people which do not watch my videos, they go like clickbait. And the people which
Yeah.
watched my videos, they go like, "Whoa, dude, you totally over the limit."
Yeah.
And and what I take away from your channel for me is you should get way more clickbaity because obviously other people are getting away with it. The question is though, do you? Because
Um.
I was reading through some of your latest stuff. Like I just watched, like we had a little pause before we started the podcast.
Yeah.
I was looking at your newest video. I can't remember what was it about.
Just this
Give
latest
me,
one.
yeah, give me a hint.
Oh, it was it's they
There
finally
the
done it.
garbage
Yeah, yeah.
came up.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
There the garbage came up. So, but what was the actual topic?
Oh, the fact that a lot of people have continuously hated on City Skylines 2, and then now that they've slammed us with all these dev diaries, and we've gotten pretty much everything that we ever thought we could possibly get, at least seeing on screen. All the hate has gone radio silent, and so I made the claim that Colossal Order has pretty much silenced the complainers because of all the awesomeness they've shown on screen. Pretty much, that's I guess a elevator pitch, a summary.
Okay. Um, yeah, but then this does not apply in that case because they pretty much no.
I mean, I
But I
go over a
just
lot of the stuff in the insight video,
yeah.
too. So it's not just about that. I mean, it's you know, so yeah, go ahead.
eh, So your question was like, what if you could make your channel anything better?
Yeah, how
I
could I
think
improve? Yeah,
actually when I would have to go through a video with you, and then I would have to point out certain things. On the other hand, it is not about extreme production value. It's more about getting the meme in there somehow. Know what I mean?
oh, not forcing it.
Not forcing it, just okay, here, that's fun, bam, done. And
Here's my
um
problem though, man. I have like the videos that have like the first half of the video is like highly edited is my highest watch time videos. And when I don't do that, because like that, I guess people have known my editing for that for so long now, that when I don't do that, like as soon as like the hypercut edits or the hyper memes stop, like the view duration just tanks, and then the video immediately stops. Growing. I mean, it'll grow a little bit, but it'll barely get over 1.2K or something like that. So yeah. Go ahead.
you look, you're definitely doing well in this regard, and I like the memes in there. But what I would tell you is, look, if you have a topic, um, I mean, of course, you are also pumping out videos. I have to say, right?
Yeah.
Like every second day, something new comes out, so there is no time in between to um, think more, make a story, make a red line from one sort to another through that thing, right?
Well, and then the
And
new the
and
new Dead Diary would be coming out, so then I'd maybe average 2 videos a week, and then
or like what I decided to no, let's make a good video maybe a month if it has to take the time. That's it. Like whatever. But if you get something, like what I want to repeat is the success of one of my videos. Because that like went pretty much off. We are at 300, I don't know, 310K, something like that. Meanwhile, anyway, I rather have one of those than trying to stay consistent
Hmm.
because yeah, really put something in there because every video, like if you earned the click, right? If you earned the click and you definitely know how to earn the click, you I personally I'm more on the side of yeah, I want the viewer to be satisfied. Like for reals, like eventually if they drop off after the first 30 seconds, they don't get it. Okay, I can live with that.
But you're
But
looking for the
after
people who stay, yeah.
but those who stay from those, I want the interaction, I want the engagement, and I also want them to leave the video with a good feeling. Like, okay, yeah, there was lots of stuff in it. I I somehow often get like, whoa, dude, I have to rewatch that, or whoa, dude, I didn't understand the thing, and then figuring out with the guys like what the problem was, and yeah, okay, they are not there yet, so eventually I need to, slow down and make more basic videos at some point. But is it, City Skylines? I'm not sure. Like, how about this? Are you thinking City Skylines will still be played after City Skylines 2 came out?
Oh yeah, I mean for sure it'll still be played. There'll be a lot of people going back and comparing and contrasting, and then of course I played City Skylines 1 in 2026. Yeah, there'll be plenty of people playing City Skylines 1, but as long as City Skylines 2 doesn't completely bomb,
Fail.
yeah, doesn't completely bomb, then yeah, I think that's gonna be the next go to. What is
Okay. Well,
something's knocking in my room?
what?
Okay, now it stopped. Sorry, it was just really bugging me. It was really, really, really bugging me. But I don't know. I mean, it's. I think that whenever in the future, whenever City Skylines 2 comes out, I think that my builds and my videos will be more like that. There'll still be a meme element because that's just my personality and that's kind of what I'm known for. But
No, those are great.
but
I love it.
I think I will kind of take your advice and I will kind of slow it down and kind of be a little more story oriented. Plus, I kind of want to be able to tell stories with my builds. I don't want to have to be that. I don't want to be the tutorial guy. You know what I mean? That's no fun. I
No,
mean,
no, no. That's all right.
you know what I mean?
That's
Like,
all right.
you
No,
know,
what I meant, like, with this clickbaity titles, try to put more essence in the video. Because then this entire it is clickbait thing. Nope, the guy really worked for it.
yeah,
You know
yeah.
what I mean?
I can see what you're saying. So like if you put more of the subject matter of the video,
Yeah,
more meat to the video, then you can get away with more
a little
clickbait.
bit, just a little bit. Yeah, it's yeah, yeah. That's my personal like. It's not like you're doing anything wrong. It's just like
Yeah, no, I mean, look at this
it's
video I just had. Like, I literally did exactly what you said. I put more meat into the video. Yeah, it's like it's
right.
still as many edits and all that, but there's more to it than
Yeah,
here's
exactly.
here's the point, and now I'm out. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
yeah,
and I really like that one because you had a point there, right? And some I was like, hmm, eh, hmm,
yeah,
you know, like what
yeah.
to do with that? Um, okay, so how long are we recording now?
I don't know. Been about an hour 30 minutes. Little less than an hour and 30 minutes.
Oh,
So yeah, I think we're doing pretty good. I don't know. I've really enjoyed talking to you, man. I think it's great. I would love to have you back on. I would like to cycle through some more people. So if you know anybody, man, shoot them my way. You know.
yeah, I mean, there are lots of great people out there.
Yeah, yeah. No, I've been dropping in
I
people's DMs for sure.
I mean, you've visited Fast Forward server, so I'm guessing that is going to be a good pick sometime soon.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah. I have jumped in his server.
yeah.
Yeah. I had to do a little bit of studying because he had some bots in there that I really I liked. But yeah, yeah.
You already did Bumblebee, you did Diana, right?
Mhm.
the there
Hoagies would be
are
nice, but she might not because of the NDA.
uh yeah, that's
Yeah,
the
yeah,
curse of the NDA, I
yeah,
guess.
yeah, yeah.
You know, in general, Spats would probably also be a good call.
Who's that?
Uh, Spats.
Oh yeah, send me that link.
In general, I should probably provide you with some Discord servers where lots of people are hanging out. But what I would really love to hear, like from the deep depths of my heart, who probably also is not under NDA like the big ones, is Lee Hawkins.
Okay, okay, I'll try. No promises.
Try getting Lee Hawkins on this podcast, and I can guarantee you that is going to become very interesting.
Okay, 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 okay. All right, you send me the link. Send me the link, man. Send me the link.
I'll give you the Discord links, no problem.
Yeah, yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, you're also going to do some. You keep doing those podcasts, right? So you probably are also going to re-invite people somewhere after the game has started, maybe.
Oh, eventually, yeah. I mean, no, I think once I get to the point where people just stop responding, I'll go back to the people who originally said they'd be back on. You know what I mean? I think it's just how it's gonna kind of work. You know, I think eventually once we get somebody really big on the podcast, I think that'd be the catalyst to open up to anybody who's over 50,000 subs or something like that. You know what I mean? It's a lot of people. Like I don't wanna just, I mean, it'd be silly of me to go ask City Planner Plays or Biffa, or anybody that big or even close to that big right now because I have nothing to offer them. They just be doing me a favor, and I don't like that. I want it to be a mutual collaboration. I want us to actually be there because we want to be there, not because they feel like they're doing a favor. You know what I mean? I don't want that to be a thing. So I just work my way up, and if I don't work my way up that far, I don't. It's not a big
Hold
deal.
on,
It's just
hold
for
on.
fun, you know.
Are you just telling me people would not do that just for the sake of the community?
Oh, yeah, you know, everybody's not very pure at heart. I hate to break it to you.
Dang it!
Yeah.
No, don't tell me there's no Santa Claus.
Hey, it's a game, and it's all about how you play it. But also, and some people they might, I might just be talking on my ass, and people might just have, they might put analytics aside, and they might go with their morals and be like, sure, why not? I don't care. But I wouldn't know because I would feel like it's inappropriate me to ask at the stage that I'm at right now. Even though most people wouldn't care, they'd be the first person they ask. You know what I mean? Like, but not me. I just feel like I want to earn my stripes first, if that makes sense.
Absolutely. And yeah, I can tell because you are putting effort in there. Like,
I'm trying.
for sure. Yeah.
I'm out here, man.
Um,
I'm out here.
Definitely.
And I
So,
work a full time job, dude. Got a family, and I'm
yeah,
averaging.
last
Yeah,
time we chatted, your son came in and you were like, "Come on, come over here, buddy." Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
that was sweet.
yeah, yeah. He's asleep. He's asleep right now. I think he's been whining a little bit in there. Poor guy.
Oh, what's wrong?
Oh, it's
Oh,
just
yeah.
he sleeps and sometimes he sleep talks and
Okay.
he makes little sounds. Yeah,
That's all
yeah.
right.
Sometimes you just gotta watch him sleep. You know what I mean? But
Okay, are you actually going to edit this? Like, are you going to,
I don't know.
beep over that one thing at least, please?
What place?
The effort,
The effort.
the F word.
Oh, what F word? Oh, no, we don't.
Kind of in the beginning there, it poured out and I couldn't hold
No,
back.
it's not a big
Oh.
deal. No, who cares? It's not a big deal. I mean, if that's what get if that gets this podcast monetized, then maybe I'll go in and clip it out. Maybe, but the podcasts are not really like hitting thousands of views. Just more like a niche community for people to kind of just really just hear us behind the scenes and just talk and just people who want that extra. It's like because I do a lot of exclusive stuff for Discord. I do a lot of stuff for my members, and every once in a while I haven't really done much on Twitter, but I would anyway. and then this is just like a little bit extra for everybody else. It's just a podcast, and if it happens to get big, it doesn't. It's really honestly just for fun. It's just for me to build a repertoire with earn my stripes, build a repertoire with other creators, and let them know that I'm not here just to clickbait my way to the top. I wanna be part of the community. You know what I mean? I wanna be one of the boys.
Absolutely,
You know what I'm saying?
absolutely. Yeah.
Right. So that's really that's all it is. And I don't know when I'm probably gonna. I'm not gonna edit it tonight. I'm about to go to bed, but it'll probably. Let's see. When did I just have Cities by Diana on? I normally do them I try to do them once a week, but I don't really have a schedule because I don't know when I'm going to get a guest, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? It's not like I have people booked and lined up. You know what I mean?
No? Oh, that's
Yeah,
gonna
man.
change soon, I guess.
Oh, dude, that'd be cool if it did. But no, I think it was 3 days ago I had Cities by Diana, and it was a little over 9 days between Bon Bon B and Cities by Diana. So, well, we'll give it a couple days, and then we'll upload her. I normally do late uploads on the podcast, and I'll do a regular upload that day, and six hours goes by, the algorithm kind of resets a little bit, and then I will schedule a podcast for late that night, like 8, 9, or 10 p.m. normally my time, which would really suck for you, but. That's normally when I do it because an American audience, a lot of people are just it's a long form content, so it's late night, you're in bed, you're watching on your phone, that type of thing. You're going to sleep to it. That's the whole thought process behind it.
More like listening to it while editing something.
Yeah, that too.
Oh
Um,
God.
hey man, I appreciate you. I appreciate you watching those podcasts too. That's awesome.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I really enjoyed that one with Bonbon because, like, when can you actually experience people like talking how they would talk on Discord? And oh yeah, by the way, may I like invite some people here, just because? Yeah, well, you as well. Like, come on over. You are already joined, but this is really where the fun happens with all the City Skyline stuff. I feel like the building of the community, actually, the
Yeah.
real community, right? This is, I mean, even though we are dissing each other and we are making fun of each other, and we are, like, for example, one of my very good friends, Oete, is a German player. He plays purely vanilla, and it kept up being a running gag, like, there's a mod for it.
There's a mod for that. Hey, you can get a mod for that.
So
That's
yeah,
good.
that's just the thing that makes it great, I guess.
But I
I,
mean, I don't know. I think I like the fact that there's so many different play styles. I like the fact there's so many different build styles. I was just like, there's something for everybody with City Skylines. And the thing was,
Absolutely.
there wasn't a podcast though, but there is now.
Actually, Flybox has another
Does he?
podcast.
Does he?
Yeah,
Actually, that's
yeah,
that's somebody I have on my list. I need to contact.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
definitely.
yeah. That's actually somebody I have
Uh,
on my list. I need to contact.
what I really find fascinating about him is he's a German dude.
Oh, really?
You can't hear
Yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah,
You
yeah. Nope,
like
not at all.
like when we were first talking, you were talking about we were talking about accents and mine not like being, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
I mentioned like it's always the Germans which point out that you have a German accent.
Yeah, 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 yeah. You speak pretty good English. Pretty good. You speak
Good,
English well.
pretty good English. Yeah,
Yeah.
I got
You
it.
speak English well.
Okay.
Oh my
Yeah,
goodness.
man. Thanks for having me. I
Yeah,
guess.
no, dude.
Like
I
that
appreciate
was
you.
awesome.
I appreciate our conversation we had the other night too. That was cool too. I wish we recorded that. We could have had a 2 hour podcast. We could have spliced them together.
Yeah, that's why I'm thinking like the more you know people, like the more interesting it would be like to re-invite people because at a later stage there is more stuff to tell. Like what can we tell now about City Skylines 2? The game's not out yet, right?
Right. Yeah. I mean, I
But there will be very interesting stuff be coming. I'm so certain
we
about
can
that.
always speculate.
Yeah,
I love
yeah.
speculation, man. Speculation is what gets gaming channels started, bro.
Yeah,
You
absolutely.
know, I love it. I love it. Anyways, I'm gonna hop off here. I'm gonna go to bed. Uh,
Have a good one. Sleep well.
everybody, I love you, but you gotta piss off. I love saying that. A lot of people get mad at me for it, but I love it.
Yeah, great ending.
Yeah.
Two to the one, from the one to the three. I like good pussy and I like good trees. Smoke so much weed you wouldn't believe, and I get more ass than a toilet seat. Three to the one, from the one to the three. I met a bad bitch last night in the D. Let me tell you how I made her leave with me. Conversation and